So we got our water tested for just to do so. And we got our results back and they weren't good. So we found out that our water was not good and it was contaminated with 25 toxic metals, including arsenic, mercury, lead, selenium, boron, and hexylene chromium. And this explains why we are experiencing this sickness. We are going through this rash. Yes. So we want answers. So the solutions we want to put out are: we should ship the coal ash away from our clean water. And I know y'all gonna ask how we get the money. We should take funds from stuff that isn't important, like building new things that don't have anything to do with us. We should drain the water from our ponds and lakes so we can protect our filtration systems. And we also need monthly checks to make sure our groundwater is protected by scientists and people that know what they're doing. No ACP, or you'll need IV.
You're saying no to the Atlantic coastline pipe because if you put, coal ash inside of our, water systems, we'll be sick and need to go to the hospital. Coal ash is a huge threat because it will always remain a trace in our water systems, but we have not effectively found a way to sterilize the water. Coal ash contains harmful carcinogens, as listed from the citizens, which can cause severe breathing issues, asthma, and issues with trying to, live, and neurological issues. Coal ash is a big issue because it not only affects humans, it affects the aquatic organisms. We are the protesters that were arrested by the cops, and we just want to change. We're the college students that fighting for change. We want to have safe water for our children and for our people. So we don't want any coal ash in our pipes and our water supplies. That's all I gotta say. No a safe way, keep everybody safe. We're trying to be healthy out here, you know what I mean? Like we're trying to be healthy. Keep the pipes clean. Yes. We don't want IVs. We're not going to go to the hospital.
We do have one other citizen group here, the James River Riverkeepers. Who?
Where your friends?
So I am the James and Potomac Riverkeeper, and my statement is that coal ash is not good for the water. Many people say it's good for, it's okay to dump in the water, but that's just concerning humans and humans only. Y'all never consider about the fishes and the organisms that live in the water. Usually when they dump the coal ashes in the water, they gotta heat up the water first in order for all the ashes and all the stuff to get out. But when they do this, when they dump the water is hot. It's hotter than the regular water, which means the water temperature rises, which means thermal pollution. And when this is happening, fertility in all organisms in the water, it decreases. So all I'm saying is that you need to chill with the dumping coal ashes in the water, because we could be drinking from this water and we won't even know it. People use water for recreational purposes, or just to go out swimming and camping. And that's all I have to say for the moment.
Do we have any other citizen groups or citizen volunteers here at today's meeting? Okay, I'd like to open the floor to any government agencies to make an opening statement on their position.
Y'all ain't sick.
Somebody come on up. It would be Fish and Wildlife. It would be
EPA.
Government's definitely.
We are the governors of Maryland and Virginia, and we both agree that dumping is harmful to the Chesapeake Bay and all of its tributaries that feed into it. But there is little we can do to change the standards set by the EPA that allow harmful dumping by big companies. So to find this change, we have to look towards the EPA and DEQ that set the standards to follow it, because we're forced to allow and just abide by the same standards and regulations that they set. So.
And the only known way to fix this issue for us is that to require or request a stronger permit.
Yeah, we are okay with dumping as long as it's gone through the proper filtration process, but there's very low standards for those processes, so it's really easy to pollute and put harmful coal ash into the river. And
We are gathered here today to discuss the issue of coal ash dumping here in the Commonwealth. As you may already know, coal ash is generated by the burning of coal extracted by brown mines. Coal ash is a danger to our environment and economy, bearing harmful toxins that have the potential to injure animals, plants, and even humans.
The metals found in coal ash possess carcinogens and consist of lead, chromium, mercury, and arsenic, just to name a few. If these metals were to get into our waterways, humans would be in a health crisis like the citizens. Most of the metals pose dangers if ingested. The health risks would be cancerous, led to developmental issues in children, cardiovascular problems, damage to the nervous system, and retardation, and even death.
We have two solutions to help get rid of or stop the process of dumping coal ash, but in our opinion, it isn't a good idea to continue draining the pond. Many poor and low-income communities rely on those water sources, so it's a lose-lose situation either way. Drain the ponds and they lose their water supply, dump the coal ash and their supply is contaminated.
To handle coal ash effectively and cost efficiently, we can handle it by enclosed waste bins in factories, placing waste bins under 4 degrees with temperature at or below freezing so it won't evaporate into the air.
Why did you bring it? EPA does not believe that coal ash is hazardous and has yet to be proven hazardous, so we believe that the best way to handle it is to store it elsewhere so that it's not harming public life or wildlife. People don't seem to understand the U.S. EPA stance on the beneficial reuse of coal ash, or they're just trying to give the public their wrong idea. The EPA continues to strongly support the safe and protective beneficial use of coal ash. We believe there are important benefits to the environment and the economy from the use of coal ash, examples such as concrete, roofing materials, and bricks. Environmental benefits from the types of uses include greenhouses, reduction of energy, reduction in land disposal, and reduction in the need to mine and process virgin materials. The Wildlife Exposure Sector's Handbook provides the data references and guidelines for conducting exposure assessments for wildlife species exposed to toxic chemicals in their environment. The goals of this handbook are to promote the application of risk methods to wildlife species. So no, we are not being inconsiderate of wildlife or people in general.
On June 21st, 2010, EPA proposed rules to address the risk from the disposal of coal ash. The first was that the EPA proposed to list these as special waste subject to regulation under RCRA. Now, the proposal for regulating coal ash in 2010, the agency suggested two approaches, including labeling it as hazardous, which would add stricter standards for plant owners. Those rules are said to be completed by the end of the year. The second option was that EPA proposed to regulate disposal of such materials under RCRA by issuing national minimum criteria. The document issued in December 2014, the U.S. EPA laid out the first ever federal rules for coal ash disposal under new guidelines. America is required to store coal ash only in landfills and disposal sites that meet minimum structural standards.
So I am here today as the sole representative of the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality. My other colleagues could unfortunately not attend this town hall, but I was dispatched, so hopefully I will represent them adequately. Now, you have all raised important issues and concerns. I understand everyone's concerns with the coal ash. If you, like you are suggesting, dump raw coal ash and coal ash waste into the river, that would most certainly have a catastrophic effect and negative effect on the ecosystem.
Order.
I understand that, but I believe that you have to look at the standards set by the EPA, which are very strict, and in fact were set shortly after the Danville River spill several years ago, which allowed them to make improvements and make the water even safer. Now, we as the DEQ issue permits to Dominion, companies like Dominion, to dump the coal ash into rivers. Now, these strict standards strict requirements for the permit have been met by Dominion, which include they will need to filtrate the water adequately, and they will need to, not only will they need to filter it, they will need to run regular tests and monitor and give us in the EPA results of those to make sure that they are abiding by the rules that we have set. I'm not done yet. Sorry. See, now, you have, I believe that the citizens have said that we need to take the coal ash away. And how will we get the money? I will directly quote and say that we will take money away from unimportant buildings that do not benefit you, so you say.
Order.
You're supposed to be saying your statement.
Order.
That's what I thought.
So where would you suggest we transport the coal ash to that you were saying we should take away? And where would you take the money away from specifically? You said buildings that are unimportant, but every building is important in their own right. Small business owners need buildings. Sports teams need buildings like stadiums. People need residential housing. These can all boost the economy. Now, if you take away from these can hurt the local economy and have a broad impact on the environment. Not the environment, but the economic environment, should I say.
Thank you. Do you have a final statement? Final statement, please.
So our standards will make the water quite safe, and because of this, I don't think that there should be much cause for worry and that you people are exaggerating the problem tremendously.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's return to order. Thank you.
We are Major Kathy and Captain Perry. We are the State Police of Virginia.
Talk a little bit louder.
We've known each other since middle school, and after we split up, we went our different ways. But recently, we both applied for a job at the State Police, and both got the job. We enforce the laws in many different ways, but we will never do things illegal, such as beating citizens. Coal is a combust black or dark brown rock consisting of mainly carbonized plant matter found mainly in underground deposits and widely used such as fuel. Coal ash is the potential toxic byproduct of coal. Coal ash commonly contains some of the Earth's deadliest toxins such as arsenic, lead, and mercury. Without proper management, these toxins can pollute waterways, groundwater, drinking water, and the air. Even though coal ash creates a hazardous byproduct, without coal, we wouldn't have power.
Okay, so as officers, we have to remain neutral, but our two main problems are the illegal dumping by Dominion Power and the illegal protesting. So,
The person who was right.
so for the protesters, trespassing is a misdemeanor, and it can have consequence up to 12 months in jail or $2,500 fine.
What's illegal? Order.
Order, please.
As police officers, we have to put the public safety first. But even though you guys do have your First Amendment, you only have it to a certain extent. Okay. So, in a plan mandated by the EPA, said it would cost up to about $11 billion to close all coal ash ponds, and Dominion is working to close them by April 2018.
I need your right. If you're a lead.
Science groups. Science groups? We have some scientific agencies that wanted to come up and speak.
So we are here to represent the Chesapeake Bay Foundation.
We know that local coal companies are dumping the remains of coal that they burn on coal ash into small rivers and into bodies of water. When doing this, they can cause serious problems in the waters. If they dump this coal ash into this, can cause marine life in the waters that they dump the coal ash into, get diseases and cancer, and they can cause
Alright, and so there has been a slight decline in marine life recently due to diseases caused by the coal ash that has been dumped into the Chesapeake Bay and waters that lead into the Chesapeake Bay.
And when dumping the coal ash into the waters, it releases off coli